Here's how you can apply clients first core structure strategy in your design process, not just in Webflow, but also in Figma. First, you need to understand the core structure strategy by clients first. As you can see right here, the outbounding section is the section identifier, and inside of it, there's a padding global, and by default, clients first padding global is set to 40 pixel, and inside the padding global, there's a container size with a fixed width of 1 to 80. This is referring to container large on desktop, and it has a max width of 1 to 80 pixel. Inside of this container is another layer, which is padding section size. For padding section size medium, it has a default desktop padding top and bottom of 80 pixel. So with that in mind, let's build this in Figma. First, you need to press F and select desktop. I'll turn down the background and I'll rename this to home. I'm gonna apply auto layout, direction to vertical and center, and I'll zero out spacing and padding. I also wanted to make sure that this is fixed width, since this is the frame that all the section will be placed in. So let's create the section identifier by pressing F and click. Let's name it section identifier. Make sure this is fill container, auto layout, direction to vertical and center, and zero out spacing and padding. Next, press F again on the keyboard and click. This time, padding global. Let's fill container, apply auto layout, vertical, center, zero out the spacing, zero out the top and bottom, but for left and right, we're gonna apply 40 pixel. Next, let's add the container size. Rename it to container size. Make sure this is fixed width, because as I said earlier, container size large on desktop has a maximum width of 1 to 80. So 1 to 80, auto layout, direction to vertical, and zero out the spacing and padding. Next, let's create padding section size. Press F, click, rename it padding section size. Let's fill container, auto layout, so on container size 1 to 80, padding section, fill, zero out the spacing, zero out padding left and right, and as I mentioned, padding section medium, for example, has a padding top and bottom of 80 pixel. So let's add 80, and to demonstrate that it has 80 padding, let's just add the content. And as you can see, if I press option and hover over, you can see the 80 pixel top and bottom, and for the padding global we have 40 pixel. And that's how you build the core structure strategy for section. Next, we're gonna test it and see if it works on real design, like designing navigation, hero section, and we're gonna also tackle responsiveness. Now let's put this into action. I have a design here that I prepared, and It's quite a bit messy. As you can see, there's no clear naming convention and there's no clear structure when you browse on the layers panel. Now let's try to recreate this one now that we have the core structure. First we have a navigation bar at the top, and we have this hero header right here with title, description, and bottom, and followed by a list of work. So I'm gonna divide it into two sections, which is navigation and hero section. So let's start first with nav. So here we have the section identifier. For section identifier, since this is a navbar, I can just rename it to navbar component, because I know that this will be a component. For container size, let me input large, and for padding section, I'm gonna make it small because I want it smaller in navbar, and I believe has around 40 pixel, which is perfect for padding section small. Make it 40. And let's start dragging the elements. First is the logo. And followed by these links. So as you can see, we need some layer to group this and make it auto layout by pressing Shift A. Make it field container, direction to horizontal, and spacing mode to space between. And I also wanted it to be centered. And it will be better to hog contents. And on real development, it would be best to have paddings on the navigation links to be easily clicked on the browser. So I'm just gonna press Shift A for all of these links, and I will rename this one links for now, and I will add 8 padding and 20 on left and right. I believe the spacing here is 40, so that's perfect. And I will remove the spacing here of this one for the wrapper of these links. And I'm just gonna call this navbar underscore nav menu. And this one navbar underscore link. And that's ready. And also thing to consider here is when doing responsiveness, we also need to have a hamburger menu. So I'm just gonna do it right here. Click F, move it down. Let's say navbar menu button, and I'm gonna size this one to fixed width 32, and I'm gonna apply auto layout with 0 on everything, and spacing maybe 4, and I'll just create a shape. Field container 2 is fine. Fixed width 32, 32. Center. Duplicate this. Maybe this one is too tight, so 8. And I'm gonna merge this one, maybe fixed width to 24. And it's centered, and that's fine. Make this white. And for this one, I will even make this white, and I will apply text size medium English, benefits, recent work, scope of work, pricing, FAQs, login. And that's perfect. We can just hide this one. And maybe can name this one navbar wrapper. And we just finished the navigation component. Now I'm gonna duplicate one more time the navigation component, but this one can name this hero section. And as you can see, it has header and list of work. So I'm just gonna set the direction to vertical, and I'm assuming this is 80, so that's correct, 80, and add spacing 80. And I'll just copy this one, this frame, and I will paste it here to replace the logo and delete the logo. And let me clean this up a bit. So it will be best to rename this one to, let's say, hero wrapper, and this one is hero header. And I will just remove this from the frame by pressing Shift Alt G. And this one, I can name this hero text. And for this one, I can make this text size medium, regular. For this one, since it's a bit larger to our existing H1, I'll leave it this for now. And for the button, it's small, so text size small. Bold will be good. See plans. And yeah, I'll just clean this up. Shift Alt G to remove it from the frame, and I'm just gonna remove this and add stroke on left and bottom. Make sure it's 20, the same as this one, I believe. And we didn't have this color yet assigned to our style guide, so that's fine for now. But let's just make sure everything is set. And this one, and make sure this one is a bit dimmer, so 45. And yeah, that's perfect, 40 pixel spacing. And next, we're gonna grab this one, this browser, and we're just gonna place it here. And as you can see, it's stacking 40 pixel. We just need to wrap this in a wrapper, and I'm gonna name this hero list wrapper, and then just field container direction, this one 40. And as you can see right here, it's exceeding the container. To visually see this one, just press Shift O, and you can see right here. So Shift O again. Now that's easy to do. On hero list wrapper, you just need to click on center, this one, and that's it. Or maybe we can just name this hero list, and this one is hero items. And we can even make this a flex box for the hero items. And this one maybe hero item header. Rename it. We don't need this hidden layer from previous navbar. And just copy the background, apply it to the main frame. Maybe make this, and there you go. Let me show you how we can make this responsive easily. Let's duplicate this one, and I'm gonna set the size to 768 for tablet. So as you can see, all the layers is out of place, but there's a quick easy fix for that one, since we have the container which has the fixed width of 1 to 80, and we're gonna minus like 768 minus the global padding, which is 40 plus 40, 80. And maybe we decided to hero list start at the left, and we can just hide it by clipping content. And since we already taken care of the nav bar, like this nav menu button, we can just hide the main nav menu and turn on the nav button. And that's it for tablet. And let's try mobile. Let's say for mobile 320. Again, just select the container large, and minus 320. Let's say we're gonna decide to shrink the padding global to 20 pixel on mobile, so let's just minus 40. And maybe for the padding section small, we're gonna decide to make it 20 as well on mobile. And let's just resize the text. Now since this is hug, we can make it fill, and make this fill as well, make the heading fill. And maybe we decided to shrink it down to 16, and this one, let's say divided by 2. Maybe increase the line height to 120% or 125. And maybe for this one, decrease the spacing to 40. And for this one, we're gonna change it a bit, so would be best to apply this to the header, delete this one, make it auto layout, and make it field container. And now we can just make this field container and remove the other items for now. Make this field container. I'm gonna run a plugin, aspect ratio. I know that this is 16 by 9, and I just want the property to change the height, and that's how you fix it. And you can just make this fix again, and maybe decrease the margin to 20. And when you duplicate it, you cannot really see it, but maybe 10. And I'll just copy this image and paste it. And that's how you create responsiveness. It's very quick. It just took a couple of minutes. Oh, and one thing I forgot here, I just noticed that it has a border on the bottom. So the easier fix for that one is on container large, since it's wrapping the whole navigation. I'm just gonna add a combo class of a snap bar, and I'll just put bottom, change the border to this, and I'm gonna apply it here as well. Stroke, bottom for this one, container large, rename, stroke, bottom, 8. And we don't need this anymore. We can arrange this one, place it here, and that's it. That's how you use clients first in Figma.